cameras?
I saw that too.
It's a bad fucking time to be Googling cameras.
I read in the text searching
What was that? Was
how-to videos.
Was that a compass?
Nah, just leave him be, dude.
Okay. I won't mess with him, yeah.
Alright.
So, yeah, first episode of Left Brain, Right Brain podcast.
Yep. I'm Left Brain. My name's John.
Yeah, Mr. Business.
Thank you, man.
I'm Right Brain, arty boy Dan. I hate having to fucking say that myself. I wish you said it for me and I said it for you, but
My
I'll do that next time. Yeah.
But honestly, we're very excited for today's episode because we got an amazing guest. He's graced us with his time and presence. We appreciate that.
Jaidyn the poet. Would you like to introduce yourself real quick?
Hey, I'm Jaidyn the poet, Jaidyn Luke Attard. I'm an author, I'm a poet here in Melbourne, talking to these guys about what it is being an artist.
And we actually only met last week.
Yeah, by pure chance. Yeah, by pure chance.
Because my friend recognized somebody else who was next to you. And then I recognized you from online.
Yeah, that was wild. And we've been planning to have some meetups that hadn't actually turned out yet.
For sure.
Yeah, that
because I've been following your work since like pre-COVID at this point.
Yeah.
But you started during COVID, didn't you?
Yeah, I guess yes, COVID was probably the time that I really got into this seriously, I think, yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
So, just for our viewers, maybe some people are not familiar with your work. How would you describe your work? What do you do, Jaidyn?
So, I suppose primarily I am a writer.
Yep.
My style of writing is significantly different to what I see most people doing because I'm blending poetry with writing mainly autobiographical sort of stuff or creative non-fiction stuff. And I'm blending the two to create something that I have no other word for except street poetry, which is essentially just what I see on the street.
Yeah. You've been a fan for a while, right?
Yeah, because you have that guerrilla kind of approach, right? The paste ups on the street.
Yeah, essentially, yeah. I don't have any other way to get my work out there.
Honestly.
I don't. It's the best way out there is for me to just...
Instagram doesn't quite cut it, right? When it comes to that.
Especially today. No, not at all. Algorithms hate artists, so... Because
I knew about your stuff through, like, seeing it on the street. When I was putting stickers up, I would always see your shit, like, right next to mine, which is awesome. Did you ever have people hit you up with anything in regards to what you put out? Like, did they ever message you in regards to your poems and say anything?
Yes, absolutely. I've had, some really nice messages from people, just... I guess understanding where my words were coming from or connecting with me in some way about the emotions that are behind whatever the poem was about. I've also had some hate, which has been some good fun. I actually kind of enjoy it. Yeah.
What kind of like things did they say?
Oh, people.
You can swear on this program.
I can swear. Oh, fantastic.
You're fitting clean swearing.
I don't know if you guys can see, but you just smiled really wide.
Yeah, we're not sponsored yet. Are we? No, we're not. They said we aren't.
There were some swear words in my mind. I've had people, just like take a photo, send it to me, and they'll just be like, "What is this shit?
Really?
What is this?"
Out of their way, just to
out of their way.
That's
yeah.
Messed up.
But then that doesn't weigh against. I had like someone who was in high school doing VCE saying that their teacher decided to use one of my street poems as like an analytical analysis thing for an essay that they set to class, and I was
that's the biggest compliment ever, right?
Yeah. I went, I don't even care about the hate. That's enough.
It's crazy. It's like underground creatives. Yeah. When some someone uses it on their portfolio or something like that. Like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Do you let the hate like affect you, or does it kind of fuel you like I want to create more and just like show in their face, you were wrong about me kind of thing?
Yeah, a bit of that second one, really. I do really like to just show it to people that I don't really care what they think, that I can just put myself out there anyway, and because I'm putting my foot forward. Not everyone is putting their foot forward because they're afraid of critics, and I'm losing my fear of critics. I don't really care.
That's the biggest problem nowadays, right? Because everyone's scared of how other people think of.
It's like a lot, right? Like putting yourself out there.
And I think even more as a creative, right? Because people judge you a lot.
Well, I've been doing a lot of like advertising research recently, and once a reel gets to a certain point, you get a certain amount of hate.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what you do, and actually, you can measure your success by that point.
Yeah.
Like, we did it the other day. Like, we got some hate, and I was like, does this mean we made it?
Yeah.
And the hater said yes.
Yep.
So that was pretty good.
It's a compliment.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, all forms of publicity is good publicity.
Not all forms anymore, but most forms. I'd say 96%.
Certainly, it's a good thing to be talked about in some way.
Yeah. Can you check, Davey? Can you check if it's 96%?
We got a resident Jamie here.
Resident Jamie.
Before anyone
Sam, Davey. Actually, Sam, could you introduce yourself? You've been quiet.
What's up from Sam?
That's awesome. That's why we pay you the big bucks. Yeah.
No, that's our resident Jamie.
Yeah.
He's amazing.
Yeah, but we don't watch Joe Rogan.
No. We're much better than Joe Rogan.
Yeah, we don't do that. Cool. So I had I read a bunch of your poems before you came in, and I asked you to bring maybe 3.
Yeah.
Do you know any off the top of your head?
Top of my head, no. That's
Yeah.
one thing I've never been able to do is recite them from memory.
Yeah.
Occasionally 1 or 2, lines here and there will stick out, but never a full poem.
Do you have, I know that you had one on third spaces.
Yes,
We'd be able to talk about that.
absolutely.
'Cause, yeah, people don't really discuss third spaces anymore, and I think it's the biggest issue at the moment with creatives. There's nowhere to meet.
Absolutely, yeah. So should I read the poem?
I reckon just read it out and listen,
right.
and then, yeah.
I'll read the poem first. We need third places, a place to work, a place to sleep, and somewhere in between. Where we don't go just to eat and sleep, only to go back to work again, and we don't go to work and sweat, only to go back home again. But a middle ground place where we go because we want to go, and we have no obligations. A place where we feel like children, where we become the heroes of our lives, the main characters of our stories, where we are truly free to roam. My third place is the State Library, where I go to sit and read books, or people watch, as bird watchers do. Here, I feel the most alive, and it makes my first and second places worth being mundane and repetitive, because my third place is always a little different every time. If you don't have a third place, maybe you should find one. Maybe it's at the shopping mall, or under a certain tree in a certain garden, or on the banks of a muddy river. Find your third place. Maybe you'll open your third eye.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Do you think then that we're in an age where a third place being given to us is not really an option anymore? Like, there's not many bookshops to go to. There's not a whole lot of cafes that, like, I guess non-gentrified spaces. Do you think that we have to build our own space now? Because you're talking about finding it in the shade, all that. Is that the vibe now?
Certainly. I think certainly. And, yes, to a degree, you can argue that there are these third places. Like, I know I mentioned the State Library, but when I say that, it's me on the lawn of the State Library outside because I don't feel technically welcome walking into the marble atrium, sitting there in silence doing my work, when I'd prefer some loud, busy space where people can come and go as they please. Where they can also collaborate as they please.
It's kind of the equivalent of, if you've heard of the term hostile architecture, but we have that for creatives. Like, we don't have a space where we can all sit down and know that a fellow creative is there and that they want to engage in the conversation.
Absolutely.
Because if you're doing it outside the State Library, what does that say of the actual State Library itself?
Yes.
Shout out to our sponsor. No, we don't actually. You can cut that out, yeah, Davey?
Yeah.
I suppose
Falling asleep.
I suppose on third spaces, in a way you could say we're in one right now, where we're speaking with each other because this is on university grounds.
Mm-hmm.
But usually to come here, you do need to be a student, which,
For sure.
I was one at one time, but beyond that, where are the spaces once you've moved out of the student world?
Well, you lose that, right?
Yeah.
Especially as a creative, once you finish school.
Yep.
And I want to talk about actual schooling with you, like, first to year 12, which you have a poem about as well,
Yes,
I think.
I think so.
But in terms of being, a visual artist, for example, you can start off and you feel like you have your people and your crew, if you're lucky, if you have a social experience.
Yeah.
But then once you lose that, you're, like, flung back into the world, and it's brutal.
Absolutely.
Because you don't get a job immediately, if at all. Most people aren't doing the jobs that they studied.
No.
Yeah.
Are you?
Yeah.
Well, you're a businessman.
I'm
so
still studying,
technically-
but not on a tangent. But you did mention me before that you did study poetry, right? Or was it writing
studied-
in general?
Well, yes, I studied mainly writing and publishing. There were
I
poetry
see.
elements in there, but oddly enough, of all the things that I studied, writing and publishing, I've done some work in those fields, but it's oddly poetry that has got a hold of me the most.
What made you swerve towards that poetry as to other forms of communication?
I think I would have to place blame on the lockdowns. To be
Yeah.
honest, on the pandemic, I think it just completely, my whole life, did a 180, and I just thought, let's just go for it. I like it enough.
Do you think the pandemic was good for your creativity? Like, did it foster creativity, or did it kind of dampen your creativity?
I think it was good.
Yeah.
I think it was good myself because there were so many bad things going on in the world that I needed a release, I guess, and I couldn't leave my house, so I had the only person to blame for not having the time to do things was myself. Whereas today I've got a job and I've got people to cook for and et cetera, things to do. But there weren't that many chores. It was just get up, do your classes, and
a
then,
weird
then
like
you're free.
liminal space where you had nothing but creativity. I know I became an artist, as I'm known now, through COVID.
Oh yeah.
Before then, I was dabbling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But once COVID happened, one even could think that they were going to live forever
Yeah.
because nothing was happening every day. And the audience, I would assume that the audience fan base was more what's the word, loyal at the time, because no one had anywhere else to turn except for online.
Absolutely. I noticed that online spaces, online communities, especially online poetry communities, they just surged during that time. Everyone had something to say. Everyone had something to say to someone else about their work. It was rampant. It was wonderful. And very quickly, as lockdowns were, rolled back and life semi-returned to gone.
Because I was making a Facebook admin page basically for all sorts of writers. It's called Daily Writing Thing, and you had people there who would never have touched a pencil or whatever. I don't even know if that's the correct expression, but they would have never made any art had they not been in a situation where they had no choice.
Yeah. Exactly. People had, in the same way that people became bakers or whatever they did during their time in lockdown, people who maybe have had a slight interest in something took a more vested interest in doing things to keep their minds busy, to keep themselves sane. And we actually had some artists and poets and musicians bloom out of that who people may have not pursued it otherwise.
I was so hopeful about that. I really thought, for the first time ever and the only time, that I was in a cutting edge bubble of the next great whatever, and then as soon as it fucking ended, I shit you not, as you know, 2 days after, bang, back to being executives, back to the bank, you know what I mean? It was done.
Absolutely.
Speaking of someone who's not a creative, I think during COVID it actually pushed me more towards exploring the creative platforms as well. Before I'd never have time to be let me go online and let me find some random band I've never heard of. But at home, I'm like, you know what? I might give this a listen to it. And I'm like, wow, that really expanded my horizon on,
For sure.
the creative arts.
Maybe we should have had lockdown for a little bit more.
I think that would be
maybe you would have been a drummer if
you never know,
happened,
right? You never know.
I think I was saying to a friend the other day that we should just always have lockdown in winter. Everyone's been sick anyway.
Yeah.
We should
for sure. I don't even want to
get
talk
3
about
months of just home time, right?
Yeah, bronchitis is no joke.
No.
That shit don't fuck around.
Yeah, if anyone doesn't know, Dan had some serious bronchitis. Not
as serious as my drummer who had pneummonia, but
it's not competition.
Yeah. Anyway, enough of that shit. So I wanted to ask you about your other poem. Was it called Sans? What was it, Sans?
Yes, Sans Poesy.
Do you have that with you?
I do have it with me, yeah. It was one that I just wrote at the spur of the moment. A couple of months back, I think. Yeah,
what?
Yeah, I'll read it out. Until my first poem, I did not know myself or what I was made of. To me, I was a stranger. And there was no poetry at my school, none at all. The one thing I needed was simply not there. So I did not learn to harness a superpower. But poetry is everywhere. It always has been. An infinite magic. It saved my life once, or twice, or a bunch. Maybe it could even stop wars. Or is that too much hope for one poem?
Cool.
Awesome.
So that one resonated with me from a different perspective, because when I was at school, and ever since I was a baby till I was probably in year 10 or 11, I considered myself a writer. Just a short story writer. Never dabbled in a lot of music, didn't do anything else. That was my identity. But my schooling system never helped me flesh out anything else. It's almost like if you're overtly a creative, they'll help you. If you if they catch you drawing, or if you do, your parents teach you how to draw, you might become an artist. But the schooling system, as I'm also hearing in your poem, doesn't actually help to foster that. It's not the priority, right?
No.
You're saying that you didn't even have the writing part of your identity in school, right?
Exactly, no. I mean, other than being a writer in my spare time,
Right.
I couldn't pursue that seriously with any real hope at all, really. I think my careers advisor told me, oh, you like writing, right? I said, yeah, I love writing. And he said, oh, see, you're going to be an editor one day.
Yeah.
I
had the same shit happen to me as well.
Oh, I groaned.
They just tell you to go be a Sparky, which is cool, but it's just
it's
they just tell you to do whatever, anything that's not related to what you're actually doing.
Yeah.
Because it's too complicated to rewrite, apparently it's too complicated to rewrite a curriculum to fit an individual.
Yes.
But isn't that not what education should be?
Yeah, you would think so. And I think
hope so.
universities definitely are more, flexible with this than
lot
high
better.
schools are. But high schools are, secondary education is extremely structured. And I may have done well as a student during that structure, but it certainly didn't actually help me on a human level trying to get where I wanted to go in life. No.
Those are like formative years.
Yeah.
So you would hope that you would be doing something to kind of, I don't know, I feel like how many people, there's no stat for this, so you can chill, Sam, but it's just like how many people would have given up or actually never even realized that they could be a creative. And then after, when they're 20 or 21, no, they just don't like that stuff. You know what I mean? They consume, but they don't actually create. I don't believe that we're born creative. I think we can have dispositions to be a creative person, but if they're not fleshed out, that's it.
Absolutely.
You won't engage with it. You don't need to create to express yourself. You consume to, I guess, express yourself.
So
Which doesn't make sense because how do you watch Netflix and, I don't know, get
you're
something
saying
out of your system?
The current high school curriculum, it doesn't really help with the creative, you're saying.
Well, I mean, I don't know about you, but I would say it's complete bullshit.
Absolutely. Yeah, they've got these, they've got some arts classes here, visual arts and all the other ones that they've got folio subjects. But you can see that even with the grading system that those are scaled down, that they're clearly not seen on the same worth as someone who goes to study chem, who goes to do things that I couldn't do sciences, I couldn't do maths. They weren't things I was able to do. But I excelled in the humanities and the arts. It's what I was good at, and I got scaled down for all of it.
That's really interesting. Like you're bringing up the point of the scaling. That is a deliberate ploy to not pursue certain things. If you don't pursue a creative thing, then maybe that's a way of kind of keeping you in check.
Yep.
Keep you structured.
That's right.
I remember, Spanish is like my native language, and I remember that was scaled down as well. And it's like, you're scaling me down on my native tongue, which is, you could go into a whole thing about that. Yeah. But also the rat race nature of the schooling system where you're competing with other people. Competition in like creativity is good, but only when it's on your terms.
Yes.
If it's somebody else putting competition on you, I would say I wouldn't create anything at all.
That's right.
Pressure doesn't work that way. You know what I mean? Yeah.
It's almost as if Department of Education would be afraid of having a hand in creating capable creators because they're thinkers. And thinkers have a way of challenging a status quo. And
their status quo is their jobs. So they are going to defend that as much as they can. Honestly, it's the more you go down that rabbit hole as to why people aren't creative. I think a lot of people are creative out of necessity, but not everyone's going to be creative out of necessity.
That's right.
Some people need to be nurtured into being creative, just like they're nurtured into, I don't know, physics.
If you had the power of, like, say, the Department of Education, what would you change about the current, high school system, and what would you change differently? What would you implement?
I would certainly have more options for students to pursue pathways that they want to pursue, because I get that there's a structure for some reason. I just don't think the reasons are good enough. I think that there can be changes made to pathways. I mean, my school that I went to, they didn't even teach literature.
Really?
They refused to have a literature teacher.
Did you go to school in Melbourne?
In Melbourne, yeah, in Broadmeadows. Yeah. So I think there were maybe 7 or 8 kids in the school who wanted to do literature. That was it. And they couldn't get a teacher in for 7 or 8 students, which means we had to do things we didn't want to do and ultimately got worse grades for that.
Fuck, so get punished.
Yeah.
Punished for pursuing it, which actually, if they wanted to teach us how the real world is, a perfect class, they should have like a punishment class for creatives. Right? Yeah, like, you suck, you should give up. I mean, that would at least make sense, more sense than the actual curriculum.
Yes.
Damn.
Let me ask this. To be a creative, do you think you actually need high school?
No. I definitely don't think you need education to be creative. I think it's good to have it. I think it's a good way to get people who want to lean into those skills but may not have the motivation or the ability to pursue that without some rigid structure. And I think schools can provide that structure, quite possibly. I know for me, it definitely helped teach me the rules of writing, of the publishing rules, editing rules.
The fundamentals, right?
The fundamentals, which were great because now I know how to break all of those rules. But has that been majorly instrumental in the pathway that I took?
Yeah.
Probably only about 30%.
They taught me the alphabet. And I'm pretty sure that's where it stopped.
So if someone's
If there's anything that came after that, after the show, please like explain it to me.
So if someone's listening and they have dreams of being a creative or like a poet like you, and they haven't done their, let's say, high school, university, that doesn't really matter, right? As long as you have a passion for it, that's all that matters.
Exactly right.
And is it ever too late to start, would you
No.
say? Or can you start
it's
whenever?
Never too late to start. I know a gentleman who's only just started getting into poetry now and he's in his 40s. And
Wow.
I believe that if he were to keep doing that for, decades, he would certainly hone his skill and
For sure.
be quite proud of what he's got. He's already quite proud of what he's been working on. So, I don't think there's a time limit on creativity. People can do this in retirement if that's their wishes. It's not my wishes.
People do, right? Like you see, I don't know if you ever seen like your parents or whatever, and I don't know what your parents do, but I've seen sort of people who are not like inherently creative in their practice or in a daily basis. Creativity will still come out somehow. You'll see them doodling. You'll see them, something will happen. You can't fully kill that part of your brain, even though some people would probably like us to not have that at all. Like a lobotomy, basically.
Yes.
But that's, I mean, I see the education system as a lobotomy, but...
Now you talk about like the struggles of being a creative. Would you ever recommend someone to, let's say like, they said, I want to be a poet, but I know it's a really difficult path. Should I do it? What would you say to that? Would you say be ready for that path, or?
I would say prepare yourself.
Yeah.
Because it can you're definitely going to start getting intimate with yourself. You're going to have to start confessing things that you kept buried underneath you, which is hard in a world where you're supposed to put on a front to try and get these jobs and live this life and follow
Absolutely.
this pathway. And when you suddenly expose yourself to the world is a little bit extreme, but you are opening yourself up to anyone stumbling across your work by being an artist, a writer, a poet. Be prepared for that. But don't shy away from it just because you see maybe there's no financial gain to be had in being an artist. And don't shy away just because of that. You can do these things on the side if time allows you, energy allows you, and if you're motivated enough to do it. Yeah.
For sure. And even the construct of creative things don't make money. Yeah, I was thinking about this. They don't inherently make a lot of money, but that's a construct.
Yes.
That's I don't know, that's part of a plan so that you just never do it.
Yeah, it's almost the consequence of the system that has been set up in
Directly.
place for us. Yeah.
Which is a shame.
Absolutely.
But I think talking about these things at least puts them out into the public, because I never really hear anyone discussing all that. I see people getting very burnt out, and I see people quitting, but I don't see people actually having a dialogue. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think having a platform to raise awareness for this kind of thing,
For sure,
would
which I
definitely
hope this
help. Yeah.
can be in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah. You talk about talking about like the difficult path. Have you personally yourself questioned the poetry route, and have you ever sat down? What, maybe it's not for me.
Yes. Yes, I've had some like self doubts, and I guess unfortunately most of that is always a financial reason.
Absolutely.
It always comes down to the how much can I do this? How much more blood can I get out of a stone?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's I guess for me, happiness is what has to come first in my life, because otherwise, if I end up resorting myself to some office 9 to 5, living just on the weekends, and not having any goals outside of my career, any personal projects, that is, then I don't think I would be myself
You would never be
anymore.
happy, right?
I wouldn't be happy.
No.
I wouldn't be myself. I'd be sacrificing what I would consider the core element of unlocking who I am.
Yeah.
If I were to do that, and that would,
Yeah.
I wouldn't function in a capitalist world if I wasn't happy. Number one.
Well, it's crazy that there's those two extremes, right?
Yeah.
The left side and the right side, because it's like if you work 9 to 5 and never get a chance to express yourself. I mean, the 5-day-a-week thing, you'd be familiar with
8
that.
hours, 5 days a week.
I maximum get 2 days a week. But it's like, yeah, you work full time, you don't have a chance, you're too tired to practice, but you have structure.
Yeah.
And you have financial stability, which is also structure. And then the opposite of that, well, the right brain side of it is that you have no structure, but you got this passion. But this city, and we're broadcasting from Melbourne, if anyone wanted to know where this dungeon is.
Melbourne, yeah.
Melbourne doesn't, I say Melbourne because I haven't experienced anywhere else as a creative necessarily for a long enough time. Melbourne doesn't really offer that kind of help or assistance.
No.
So you have to be prepared. You have to be prepared for a lot of, I wouldn't call it failure, but a lot of resistance.
It's kind of the
A
two
lot of
opposites,
resistance.
right?
Like I would, if somebody wanted to ask me if they should pursue it, I was thinking about it the other day. Obviously, because I'm doing this podcast. But also at the same time, I go, shit, like,
You
watch your
personally know the
mental,
struggles,
like,
yeah.
watch your mental health. Watch your friends. You know what I mean? With creativity, like you can make a lot of friends being creative. You can lose a lot of friends too.
Yes.
You talk about the financial aspect. If you don't mind me asking, what are the main revenues? How do you make money with poetry?
So making money in poetry is more or less impossible without a book.
Yeah.
A book is typically the way to go, and I've got my own poetry verse novel.
Okay.
And I think that was the first time I actually started making any form of money from my writing officially. And currently in the process of doing my taxes. As you know, when we run into each other, and I told
That's
you
what
I
you were
was,
doing outside of the state level,
and I'm still in that process. And
The taxes got you here.
They got me here as well. And so,
It's not a straightforward route, is it? 'Cause
No,
I was just
fuck
thinking,
no.
like, with
No.
poetry, like, how do you make money? I know that you can sell like your
Sell your
books and
soul.
stuff, but
Probably like 60
it's
bucks
not kind of
max.
like you're a lawyer, you're an officer, we go 9 to 5, you get a paycheck every 2 weeks, right?
Yes.
It's not that simple.
No, royalties come in so rarely. I think there are some bookstores who order copies of my book in, and I mean, I get a royalty check every month from them. But
What's
and they're
your
not
book
great.
called? So just so people listening.
Yeah, you have it here, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Show it to the camera.
There's a camera
Show it to that
right over
camera.
there.
As opposed to the one that's awkwardly placed behind you.
This one here is my book, and it's called The Street Poet. It has a subtitle, The Journals of a Paranoid Man. That's me, or that is my fictional character, Johnny Locke, who is kind of me. So it's a document of my life, wandering the streets, learning about street safety, meeting strangers, growing up, being an artist in Melbourne. Yeah.
And you say street safety. There was a poem that you wrote about how you're supposed to, like the etiquette, right? Of approaching somebody on the street.
Yes.
If you're going to write about them. What is that etiquette? I was curious to know.
So there's no hard and fast rule. I mean, there are certainly, you should always warn someone about talking to strangers. I don't always condone it. But I think common sense is number one. Use your common sense. If someone appears approachable, then maybe 80% of the time they're going to be approachable. And you've got your sore thumbs that will stick out, but not all the time. Some people are really approachable and lovely to speak to. I sometimes call myself like a stranger magnet, where I would just sort of be in a place at a time, and I'll wait to see who's interested in talking to me rather than approaching other people. And it always happens. Someone will always strike up a conversation with me in some way, and they're always deep philosophical conversations that I can learn some stuff from.
It's like surfing. Like you position yourself in the right place and eventually the wave comes. But you have to be like alert. Like you can't be on your phone distracted. You got to be there with a plan, and eventually something will happen.
Yes.
Like on a night out, the best night out. It's not you on your phone, talking to your mates. You're in the moment.
Yeah.
And you need to mentally be open for it as well. I have taken people out on what I call like hitting the streets, or like we've wandered around trying to catch stories of the day, and people actually ask to come on me on these things, and I'm like, come along, I'll teach
Like
you
a tour.
teach you the way, like a tour. Come along, I'll teach you the way. That's how I learned myself. Someone took me on a tour, and I learned how this all works.
Really? So you have like a protege?
Yeah, my
Young Jedi.
Yeah.
We'll be right back after this break.
Illegal?
Yeah.
Prohibited item?
Yeah, but there's like, what's the word for the person?
Contraband.
No, but when you sell alcohol, but you're not supposed to.
Illegal.
Motherfucker! What are you talking about? What is it?
Don't make him pull up a thesaurus.
Speak easy.
Oh, has it been running the whole time?
No, I just started again.
Okay, cool. We're back. I was trying to figure out another word for bootlegging, but we don't need to
Like
talk about
prohibition?
Yes! Thank you! He speaks, thank you, I need that.
You said what's similar to like bootlegging, you meant prohibition.
What did you just say?
Prohibition-
Prohibition era.
That's completely different.
What the, like...
To what?
Moonshine
Prohibition
is
was
like-
the law when they banned
that's a law.
alcohol
You're not-
sale in
not
America.
selling-
Bro, you've been watching, what's that show? Boardwalk Empire too much. Let's get back to the conversation.
All right, we're back, but
We're back,
Sorry
but
about
are we
tangent.
really? That's the question.
that was a bit of a weird tangent, wasn't it?
Yeah. So I wanted to ask you, Jaidyn, you have a poem about mansions, right?
Yes.
Do you have that on you? Could you read that out
Yes,
to
I
us?
can read it out.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's a poem called Mansions. Today, we drove past mansions, and not just big houses with 3 trees but proper white stone mansions with lawns the size of football ovals and twisty willows in suburbia. And I thought of my tiny square studio that I call my office, my home, and my jaw locked. Then I grinned and twiddled my thumbs at the thought of their coffers hidden away in steel vaults, wondering what's inside. Anything for me? Currently taking donations to help with my creation of a world that suits me. Security codes welcome. I just gave myself chills.
Cool.
Awesome.
I'll give you some cash, but I'm also a starving artist. I can't help you. I don't carry coins either. I'm not in Japan anymore.
Where'd you get the inspiration for that poem? Did you drive
yeah,
around
what-
mansions?
What
or-
suburb? Was that Turak?
Yeah.
Was it actually?
It was Turak.
Okay, when I read that
Yes.
shit, I was like, he wrote about Turak. Because I've done that before. Like, I took our friend Luke up in the hills, up, far away from everyone else. And then eventually you get to this area that has mansions. And obviously you're a well-off boy, you know what I mean? We want to tell the crowd he's a
I don't know
well-off boy.
about
But we're talking like $1 trillion. Okay, can you actually
$1 trillion.
do some research? It sounds so aggressive. I love you, Sam Davey. Can you do some research on the most expensive mansion in Turak real quick? Firstly, no artist lives there.
In Turak specifically.
The people in that house have never seen, like, I don't even think they've discovered Netflix. There's nothing.
Let's get some context first. Like, Turak in Australia is probably the most expensive suburb. Definitely in Melbourne, right? For
That
sure.
house that he's Googling is the most expensive house
That's where like, all
in
the
Australia,
that's
right?
where the old money and stuff is.
Turak is the most expensive suburb in Melbourne. Then it's Portsea.
Portsea.
Yeah.
Really?
Down past Mornington.
We can bleep that out later. We only talk about important shit here. I'm not about runner-ups. I'm talking about the cream of the crop.
In Australia, all of the most expensive suburbs are in Sydney.
Yeah, it would have to be in Sydney.
Well, okay. Well, how much is the most expensive house in Melbourne? Because we're in Melbourne, Sam.
$40 million.
Okay, so that's probably $39,999,000.
Do you know who owns that house?
$99 more than what I got.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, who owns? Because I've seen that house. I've gone to have a look, not to buy. It's not for sale. Otherwise, I definitely would have got it.
Would've bought
Shit,
it.
I would have bought. Yeah, for both of us, you know. Then we can always
I
do a
appreciate it,
podcast
man.
24/7. Never leave, you know. Don't sleep, don't eat.
It'd be interesting to see who owns the most expensive houses in Melbourne.
The
right?
one adjacent to that, I don't know if you can fact check me, it's JFK's granddaughter.
Well, I've got the owner of the most expensive one here. It's the Healy family, who are the owners of a large shopping centre in Sheffield, England.
So the shopping centre's not even in fucking Australia.
So they just
No.
brought their money over and just bought the most expensive house in Australia.
Okay, so the house is a front, basically. Can I say that?
for legal reasons, no.
For legal reasons, no. The house is not a front.
It's
I
just an
declare it
opinion,
not
just
to
an
be a front.
opinion.
It's just my opinion.
Yeah.
I'm a stupid little student. I
So the
don't know what
odds
I'm
are
talking
the most
about.
expensive houses probably not owned by artists. Let's just say that.
Well, that house is not owned by
Yes,
artists.
yeah.
Shopping centres aren't exactly the best third space.
no.
We made it a shopping centre because we used to work. We can't really name it, can we? We can.
We can.
We used to work at Sunglass Hut. That's how we actually know each other.
Yeah.
So we met at a shopping centre. We don't know anything beyond that. You know?
We were horrible at our jobs, by the way.
Yeah. I mean, he was really good at his job and they didn't give a fuck. I was really bad at my job. Left brain, right brain, you know how it is. I can use that excuse for fucking anything that doesn't work. True. So what made you want to go? So did you go up there with like a crew on like a tour? Did you go, hey, this is what we'll never have? Like what was the... How'd you get there?
We were actually on the way to the beach, and it was this time last year, maybe September, October.
Right.
I think the weather was starting to improve. We just thought, fuck it, we're going to the beach. We got to do it. We got to see the sky. Got to see the sun. Get some sun on us. So we're just heading around, and I don't drive. I can't afford a car. Who can afford a car?
That would have sucked, right? Like,
yeah.
that's a hilly area.
It's very hilly.
It's like San
Yeah.
Francisco, like Brisbane hilly.
Yeah. So we just drive past, and I look out the window, and my head just starts shaking of its own accord. I'm not shaking it; my head's shaking itself. It's looking at it going
Instinctually, right?
Yeah, it's just going ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. The things I would do with a space like that.
Yeah.
And when you look around, what kind of people do you see in these kind of areas?
No one.
No.
There's no one on the fucking street. Dude, it's a ghost town.
I feel like when you go into like, you see like a certain kind of people, and I wouldn't say it's
you see a jogger.
The odd jogger.
Yeah.
The cyclist. A cyclist.
I bet he doesn't do anything creative.
No. I mean,
Unless jogging's creative. I don't want to
I think it's just working out.
50% of my fan base.
I mean, he's jogging throughout the day. Why isn't he at work?
Yeah, why isn't he in his house?
Yeah.
need to work, yeah.
I suppose I'm going to the beach. Why aren't I at work either? But that's another question.
But like, let's be real. If you owned a house that was $40 million, you should not be leaving your house.
No.
You should be house arrested, and you should just like.
I think
that's your life now. You know what I mean?
If you have a $40 million house, I think inside the house is much nicer than anything outside the house.
Yeah.
You wouldn't even want to leave.
What's on the inside is always nicer than the outside.
That's what Dan's hoping for, by the way, if anyone's not getting the hint.
That's what I want. Yeah, I'm looking for a sugar daddy live on air. We're not actually live on air, so it doesn't fucking matter. Davey, could you pull up something real quick?
Yep.
No, I'm crying, please. No, I'm not going to be picky about the browser. Don't worry. What's the annual salary for an artist?
like
Is
an
that
average salary.
I know it's like
of a
6K
creative.
something, but I don't know exactly what it is.
Artists in Melbourne or Australia?
Fuck, I don't know, man. It's
Australia, Melbourne, your choice.
The average artist salary
Drum roll.
is 76,000 per year.
That's bullshit.
sound
I've never
right
seen
at all.
That's a lot higher than I thought it would have been.
$76,000. With what does it say? What type of artist?
Like,
makes
yeah,
that?
what counts as an artist?
This is from
Is it Forbes or Forbes? How the fuck you?
Forbes?
Fuck. I said
Forbes.
Forbes, which you read on the daily.
Nah.
As Mr. Business, you wake up. That's your.
Oh, yeah,
That's your breakfast.
the,
So what? Yeah, what artist is it?
this
it
is
quoted?
based off like proper like lighting jobs like at a.
So like technicians and stuff. Like
Like a lighting
light
tech.
technician.
Yeah, this
Is that- are they an artist
quite
though?
what we're looking for.
I mean,
seen-
there's lighting technicians that are artists, but I would
could-
say that profession is lighting other people's
Yeah.
stuff. I don't think you get creative
yeah,
input. No way.
You could argue that's an artist.
It's light. Like, there's a proper way to do this.
Seek is saying that it's
Oh, love Seek. Never got a job off that
80K
shit.
to 100K, which
That's bullshit. Like, what does it say?
I don't think that's right.
It's probably
This
like
is like-
landscape or some
Yeah.
shit, and they're counting that as us. What's the maybe if we can go more specific? Like, could you? Is there one
Average salary of poet.
Well, $0. You don't need to Google that shit. I'll fucking tell you.
We have live info right in front of us. Right?
Yeah. That is a crazy photo. That photo, I wish we had a camera on that. That is how they probably see artists in
Would
general.
it maybe
like-
the reason why the artist salary is so high compared to what we think is maybe like the ones who are successful, like the musicians and stuff, they make a crap ton of money. So it kind
once
of
you
balances.
make it, but musos.
But I'm saying like doesn't
Don't even now.
that adjust the average maybe because like like a famous singer probably makes millions, right? So it probably bumps up the average number, but maybe the disparity is quite large.
is there anything there on
this
on
post
writing
is
or
saying,
visual arts?
so this is from theconversation.com. It's saying for the average creative work is only earning people $23,200 a year.
That sounds
That
more
checks out.
realistic.
That
Yeah.
checks out.
For anyone that's wondering, that's below minimum wage,
Oh, absolutely.
like way below.
What's that an hour?
Probably $2 an hour.
Yeah.
Something
Fuck!
outrageous.
You absolutely need a day job
Yeah.
on that salary.
Do you have
Yeah.
a day job as well?
I do, yeah. I work in a bookshop, which is fitting.
Which
It
is-
works-
That's
Yeah.
good though, because it's kind of like what you like, right?
yeah.
You're
So
surrounded by-
and I wouldn't want it any other way. I know some people like when they have a creative job, they like to have some kind of practical
On the
boring
other
sort
end,
of
right?
job on
Yeah,
the other end, so they
balance it
can
out.
use both sides of their brain, like left
Yes.
brain, right brain. No, not me. I absolutely have to stick in the creative field no matter what I'm doing. And I mean, my bookstore job, it's comfortable. I can at very least afford to fund the basics of what I need to be an artist. And I think I spend, to be fully transparent, nearly 10 grand a year just trying to get my writing.
That's your investment.
That's
into
my
your craft,
investment.
yeah.
So if you break it down further, what kind of spending is that? Like, is that online advertising or shows, or what kind of cost goes into that?
Everything from, as I've just broken down recently, everything from print costs, which is about half of that automatically. Shipping,
Yeah, shipping would be fucked, right?
subscriptions.
Yeah.
Subscriptions are the big one. Adobe software, that kind of thing. It's endless. iCloud storage, even things like that. You need a lot of storage.
Yeah.
You can't go on a measly 100 megabytes. It's not going to work. You are going to need terabytes.
Yeah.
Laptops, cameras, camera maintenance.
Yeah, all that equipment's really expensive, right?
It adds up. It adds up. And yearly, I don't know what the costs are going to be because usually I need something in the moment. It just comes up and I need to get it then and there. Even just general promotional print costs from wherever it is I'm getting flyers printed or posters or what have you. And I think you mentioned one just before. I'm unsure which one. Costs, lots of costs. For
Advertising. Yes.
Advertising's a big one.
Insane. I mean, you just listed all the costs of creating it,
Yeah.
which vary from practitioner to practitioner.
Yeah.
But then advertising is kind of the same. If you want to do it properly, I mean,
You got to invest.
What's your main way of advertising? Is it online or is it in person?
It's online. It's
Like
it's
Instagram?
probably Meta, Instagram. I don't bother too much with too many of the others. I'm not monetized by anything either, so that doesn't help.
Yeah.
Can't get monetized. It's very hard to get monetized on things like YouTube.
really.
It's quite hard. Yeah, you need like 1,000 hours watch time and 1,000 hours, I think, and like 1,000 subscribers
Right,
as
because
well.
you can get monetized on Reels, right? There is an option for that.
There is an
send
option for
gifts,
that, yeah.
like
Yeah.
send pity change. I've never had anyone
No,
throw
no. Does anyone do
virtual
that?
fucking coins at me and be
No.
like, yeah.
Twerking
No.
for coins.
I've
Yeah.
certainly never sent anyone one of these gift
These
coins,
gifts.
fake money stuff that they're doing
Yeah.
online now.
Crypto.
No.
So would you ever think about making another book to like fund the things? Is that during the process? Are you in the process of making another book?
I'm in the process of working on a few things at once.
That's exciting.
Another novel. We actually started that well before this one came out. My book, The Street Poet. I got another one coming out. I would like that to be done soon, but books take a long time. I think I spend about 23 hours a week on average just
Fuck,
at home
that's a
doing my
considerable
own
amount.
work. Yeah, as well as working roughly about 35 to 40 hours a week during my
Wow.
day job. So I'm often busy and I don't go to a lot of parties anymore.
Fair enough.
There's not a whole lot of parties to go to. I don't know if it's because I'm unpopular.
No.
I know Sam Davey would get a lot of parties.
Sam Davey gets
I'm
all
always,
the-
I'm always driving him to the parties, and I'm just waiting for him to invite me in. He never does.
Dan's my personal Uber driver.
Yeah, actually, tomorrow after another interview, I'm Ubering him as well. That's the agreement that we have here. You know what I mean?
solid.
But damn, interesting. So yeah,
How long does it take for you to like think of a book? Do you ever put a time frame on yourself, or you kind of just like let the creative fluids flow per se?
I don't like the way you
I don't
worded
know.
that.
I didn't like it either, to be
We're
honest.
gonna have
but
to bleep that, even though there was no expletives on it.
It felt wrong when I said it.
Yeah,
I realized.
that wasn't right.
Time frame. I mean, like when I wrote The Street Poet, I had a time frame. I knew I wanted it done within about a year. Took about a year and a half.
Yeah, damn.
That was fine. I mean, I committed to that one, like solidly committed to it every single night. It was until about 3 a.m. I would work hard on that. I can't do that anymore. I've aged a couple of years, and now I'm often in bed well and truly before that time, as I should be.
What's your bedtime?
It was my bedtime. Probably, honestly, about 1 at this point.
That's pretty like that's still late.
That's not early. That's not early.
That's
dude.
not early.
I thought you meant like 9.
That's
or
not
10,
not Patti Smith hours, but it's
No.
something.
It's early for me because I was I didn't sleep a lot during my high school years. So for me to sleep at 1 now is actually getting a decent sleep before work at 8 a.m.
Do you ever get like writer's block where you can't think of what you want to write, and is that why it takes so long?
No, I'm someone who's I've never actually really dealt with a lot of writer's block myself. I actually have too many ideas, and that's my main problem. And I usually know I have an answer for everything. I always know sort of, okay, I've got this issue, and then I come up with my answer, and I'm like, that's my answer. That's how I solve this problem. And I guess I try and like fix problems as soon as they arise, rather than let them build up if I can avoid it. So not writer's block, but just the time it takes. Because a draft, if I commit every single night to writing a draft, the draft will be done in about 2-3 months. Sounds great. But in that 2 or 3 months, new ideas have been stewing, especially during like shower time or something. Ideas just...
I love the way you said shower time.
Shower time is the best for
Shower time.
ideas.
It's like you're going to announce it before it happens.
Yeah. No.
I wanted to ask you though about ideas in general. I don't know if you've heard, you probably have, about Stephen King's theory with ideas that like if you have an idea and it's actually good enough, you don't need to write it down.
Yes.
It'll just keep coming back to you.
That's right.
Do you believe in that kind of a process? Do you write your stuff down?
I think it's a very general sort of idea that he's posing, but I don't think it's wrong necessarily, because I've got, like I said, I've got lots of ideas, and I write a lot of my ideas down. But there are always about 4 or 5 of them that I've written down. But regardless of what I've written down, they're still in my brain all the time.
Yeah.
Like I just in my day to day, I'll be like, oh yeah, the day that I release that novel, and when I release that novel, I just have these ideas that I know at least 4 or 5 solid plans without writing them down, that I must do those things before I'm finished. If I'm ever finished being an artist, that they must be done at some point.
Yeah, and do you write this kind of plan out, or do you just kind of let it flow naturally?
A bit of both. There's this concept amongst writers as plotters and pantsers. So if you're a plotter, you actually plot out your novel. You actually know beat by beat what's going to happen, who they're going to meet, what the turning point is, who's going to die, all of those sorts of things in a book. And then you got pantsers who set up, essentially they plant a seed and see what happens. And I like that concept. I really like plotting a seed and letting it happen. And I try and do more of that. I like a bit of spontaneous just to see what comes up. But as an overthinker, by and large, by the time the idea that I initially have had as a seed for a story has made it onto the page, by the time that idea is there on the page, I have already worked out the ending.
Right.
So in starting to write something, I've got no plan, but before it's finished, I've already worked out the ending. So that just kind of happens in the middle of the process, I think.
That's interesting. So there is an element of risk there, but by the time you actually apply yourself, the risk is more or less gone.
Yeah, exactly.
That's like your process. Because I know Picasso used to say, shout out to Picasso, your favorite. people who don't like art will probably say Picasso's their favorite. He's not a good guy, but I like a good Picasso every now and then. Do you? You got an original, right? No, you have an original.
Nah, I don't.
Yeah, he's got 3. I was going to say, like, he used to say, back in the day when I used to get coffee with him, that...
What, Picasso? You used to have coffee with Picasso.
You for the joke. This is unscripted, by the way, in case people think it's written down. This isn't plotted. This is, what's the other one?
Pantsing.
Pantsing, yeah. But he would say that you kind of like walk on a tightrope, and that element of risk is what makes good art. So it's nice to kind of see that there between you and the piece of paper. There's this kind of risk there.
That's
element
right,
of chance.
Yeah. I mean, it's always a risk being an artist anyway in general, so why not use risk to your advantage during the creative process? I didn't have an ending for my book while I wrote it, and I spent that prolonged period of time working on it. I had a very vague ending in mind, but I knew that there was a placeholder ending. I knew there'd be something else. And then the ending actually happened to me in real life, and I went, "Yep, great, life happened."
Let it happen.
And
kind of like synergy.
Yeah, it just went. That's the ending. I've got the ending. Let's finish this book. Let's get it done.
It's really interesting when it comes to like, I guess with creativity, like taking a creative risk. For a lot of people, it feels like a real risk.
Yeah,
because it feels personal. But actually, a creative risk is not. The only good thing about being a struggling artist, and I hate that expression, but you know what? I've come to embrace it because that's the truth. I don't want to keep telling people I live in a mansion in fucking Turak when it's clearly not the case. Shout out to my Holden Commodore, you know what I mean? Future home. I was just going to say that, like, taking those kinds of risks is kind of the only positive about being a struggling artist, because you don't have somebody in a record company or whatever, in a platform already telling you what to do. So while you're unsupervised, per se, you can take those risks, and people should just, as long as you can embrace the personal side of it, that you're going deep into yourself, that's a risk.
Yeah.
But ultimately, I think it's, if ever there was a time to trial and experiment, it's as a bludgeoning or starting artist, which, I mean, that period of time kind of just, I reckon it could last like 15 years before someone gets noticed.
I do think that's probably an accurate time frame. I think about 15 to 20 years is the frame where you're still a beginner artist. You're
everyone listening...
Still, yeah,
that's the deadline. So
that's how long it'll take for you.
14 years and 999 months, and you got to run the numbers on that.
So when you talk about risk, like Do you feel like you're putting yourself out there when you give people, like, you express people through your work? Do you feel kind of vulnerable in that kind of way?
Yeah, I feel quite vulnerable putting my work out there, and I'm actually conscious of the fact that in the last few months I haven't put as much work out there as I have in the past, and I do put the blame on myself a little bit for that, because I've been reluctant to be so intimate once again with people. But the actual reason, when I come down to it, is time, and having the time to complete a project and get it out there, and just juggling a million projects at once. Huge risk in terms of my own personal emotions, putting work out there, because I am essentially exposing all of the parts of myself to
Whether
other
you want
people.
to or whether you don't want to.
Yeah, that's right. And I think being honest is important with people. I love being transparent. I want people to see what I'm up to. So I show them what I'm doing with the street poetry. It's why I talk about themes that, maybe they're taboos, I don't know, but things that people may not want to take as much notice to. I don't shy away from the sort of gritty details of things when I see them, when I consider them to be true things. I lean all the way into that, because...
What's the most controversial poem you think you've made? Have you got one that's, like, really, like, split opinions?
I don't know.
You don't...
I don't know, to be honest. I mean, I've had people bring up... there was this one poem that I wrote about a man who I know for fact pretends that he can't speak. So he essentially he pretends he's, as you know,
It's not a
quote,
psychological thing. It's just...
yeah, in a way, it's sort of like a quote unquote mute.
Okay.
And he. But he's not, but by any means. But he pretends.
should be laughing.
He pretends to
I'm
be.
not laughing at this.
Before
Sam, why are you looking at me with this approval?
before we get cancelled,
We done 56 good minutes.
we don't think this is funny.
Yeah, no, we don't think it's funny. But it's interesting. So how do you know? Have you heard him?
I've heard him speak. I've heard him have.
That reminds me of that fucking episode. I'm sorry. We made it so close. Wait, that reminds me of that episode of, like, what's it fucking called? The Twilight Zone, where there's the lizard thing on the plane, and it's just like, oh, I see it. And
I don't know what you're
every time people
talking
come and
about.
check, it's gone. Yeah, you're not cultured as much. Damn. So that divided a lot of people because they knew.
Well, because people, I suppose not divided, but people definitely rose a question. They were like, "Hey, do you know for sure that this man doesn't speak? Maybe that's actually." And
Were they like?
I was like, no. I've seen him get into a fight with people from Kmart. Like,
I can do a whole documentary series on this issue. We'll get the cameras out later. We'll go pay him a visit. Yeah.
Were people like, it's not your place to kind of say if he can or cannot speak? Is that?
Yeah,
what
so it was sort of
Yeah.
a case of like that, where I was like, no, you didn't see what I saw. That's why I'm writing it. I wouldn't do this about any Joe Blow. I'm doing it for a reason. I'm saying it for a reason. Yeah.
Did you think that was going to be controversial when you were writing it?
No.
No.
I didn't think twice about it because it was just what I'd seen, and I was fully confident in it, and still am. I still stand by my work. Stand by your work. Ultimately, unless you've made a grave error, then admit it. But yeah.
Ultimately, I think any form of expression, whether you like the work that you put out in a digital age, you put something out on Instagram, whether you like it or not, it's still going to represent a part of you.
Yeah.
I think liking the work is something to satisfy one's own sense of like peace, and calm as an artist. But I don't think it necessarily matters, right? Like
You don't have to love your work. You should love it when you're making it. You should love it at
Yeah.
the time that you want to release it. I think that's kind of important. But once it's out, you have to accept it's out. It's there. It's for the world. Don't hide it now.
No archiving on the Insta.
No, don't.
No
I mean,
deleting the post on the Insta.
no, there's especially not if you're if it's something that other people liked. Just
That's
let it sit.
But even that in itself, like you might make something and you think it's the shit, and then you put it out there and it doesn't perform as well as you want it to. Do you have any advice for artists on like Instagram and stuff, saying like maybe like I don't know, put your phone away once you've posted it? A wise man once said that to me. So once you posted it, leave it. It's done.
Don't keep checking to see how.
Don't check.
Don't look at the numbers. Don't worry if you're not getting the comments that you want. If you had 1, 2, 3 haters on whatever post it was, you've just got to let it go. And if you're so bothered by it, you do have the freedom to remove it. But refrain. If you can refrain from doing that, do stand by your work. Because you can only get better by increasing. I suppose some artists do get worse though. Some people
Some
get
artists. Do get worse, yeah.
But they have to peak first. I feel
Yeah.
like you have to peak first to get worse.
Like a one-hit wonder, but with writing? Is that a thing? Are there one-book wonders?
One book.
They'd have to be, but I don't know who.
I'm
who
sure.
they'd
I'm
be.
sure there's some good selling novels out there you've never heard of.
Like one really, really
Yeah.
good one.
I think quite a few of them. J.D. Salinger.
Yeah, what other books do they have?
Right. I mean, I couldn't even. I couldn't even name any of his other works.
Internet hasn't even
couldn't-
been invented yet.
No.
Do you
Damn.
have favorite poems then? Because you say like you can like some and not like others. Do you have a favorite poem or a few?
Or a favorite artist as well? Like,
Yeah, I've got. I always fall back to Leonard Cohen's poetry. I think.
cool, yeah.
Oddly enough, I mean, I know he's known firstly as a musician, but I think he would have called himself a poet before he called himself a musician. I love his poetry, and it was probably a collection of his poetry that really turned me around and where I decided, I can write about myself. Oh, I can write about the things that I see. Oh, I can document my life through poetry if I so choose. And it was, Leonard Cohen that was a turning point.
Was that because the style of writing that he has? Because I've read a few of his books as well. Is that because it just feels very down to earth, quite
Yeah.
accessible?
Yeah.
That's
It was
good, right?
very
Like-
calming. And I think in that calm that I got from reading his work, I gave myself the freedom to make mistakes.
For sure.
And just start going for it. Yeah.
There's something to be said for like DIY in general. Like DIY is really inspiring.
Yeah.
Especially for me in like a garage punk kind of band. Like you see other people do it on a budget, and in today's day and age, that means the world.
Yeah.
Cool.
Absolutely.
So we've hit an hour. That went really quick, and then the light just died. So that was actually on cue. Did you do that?
I didn't do that.
You didn't do that. Is there anything you want to say to the listeners? While you still got the nice light on you before that one dies. Is there any upcoming things that you're working on? Anything you want to promote? Any artists you want to plug?
Yeah, I guess for me, I ask all of you to check out my good friends from my writing collective, the DeGrave Circle. We're currently working on a bunch of DIY zines, getting a bunch of artists together and just releasing some new shit. So, yeah, give us a support. Find us on the DeGrave Circle on Instagram. Yeah.
Cool. I won't ask you to spell it out for them because I think our listeners are quite literate.
Yeah, I think so.
You can put it on the description or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can put that. We can tag them as well.
Yeah, I have faith in all of you.
Awesome. You have too much faith in me. Cool. So, yeah, signing out. Have we figured out how to sign out yet?
Well, no, but
It's kind of corny. Like, I'm right brain, and then he goes, I'm left brain, and then we sign out.
no, we just want to say, thank you for listening.
Oh, yeah, obviously, thank you, James,
Thank
for
you
coming
for
on the
Jaden.
podcast.
Yeah, it's been very interesting
What's-
to see that kind of insight.
What's your Instagram handle as well? Just for
It is Jaidyn Poetry, Jaidyn. It's a strange spelling of the name, Jaidyn Poetry.
I'd recommend people to come on and have a look because I'm not big, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a big creative person, I'm not a big poetry person, but I did have a look by your page. I'm like, you know what? That's quite interesting. I've never had poetry, I've never viewed poetry in that kind of way.
Yeah.
So I was like, if anyone's interested or even just bored, have a look and might access something that you've never seen before.
Yeah, I'm taking down elitism in poetry, so that's my whole thing. So that's what we're doing.
Cool.
Well, that's awesome.
Easy. All right, I'm sick of this guy fucking putting the lights on. I
don't know what's happening. The light keeps moving around.
fucking around. DIY until I die. Anyway, thank you, everybody. This has been
Yeah.
Left Brain, Right Brain.
Thank you.
Thanks.